Good morning everyone, it's Monday morning and the sun is shining brightly and it's time for our functional Pilates class. So what's this class about? This class is about moving in a way that is safe and helpful, okay? So this is using exercises that emulate movements that we do in everyday life so that we can do them. So when you think, okay, I struggle to get down to reach something out of that bottom cupboard because of my knee, my hip, I don't feel steady, whatever it is, we work on those as an exercise to then get you safe, strong and confident. This is just about keeping going. This is about being able to get your arm in that coat sleeve, which can be quite a tricky manoeuvre, yeah, for the shoulder when it's struggling with a bit of mobility. That forward head posture that then causes us to round our backs and compresses our lungs, and that reduces how freely we can breathe and the amount of energy we have. So what we want to try and do is counter all of that with some really, really good productive exercise today. Now, I know there might be some of you on here watching today or watching it later on who maybe have some long-term health conditions or injuries, things that you need to be really, really careful with. Now, if that's the case, listen to your bodies. Well, we should all listen to our bodies, but especially if you have an injury or you have a health condition. So listen to your body. If it doesn't feel right, modify it, make it maybe a more gentle movement, make it safe and appropriate for you. I will be giving some modifications, but because I'm not there with you, I can't make sure that everyone is doing what I would ideally like them to be doing. So you're going to have to do it for yourselves, taking responsibility for what is happening with your body today. Now, all you're going to need is a safe, clear working area, and I would like you to, if you have one, to grab a block today. So if you haven't got a block, a cushion will do, because we're going to do some side lying. So block if you've got one, if not, a cushion would be fine. I would like us next week to try and do some work with the block as a balance aid. It's not an aid, it actually makes it harder. It's not an aid, it's an aid to making it harder. It's a balance challenge tool, okay? So if you've got a block, that would be brilliant. Alright, but for now, make sure it's out of your working area. We're ready to start. So I'll put the music on. Okay, right, so we've got in, oh David, good morning. Right, now remember, if you do need a chair or your hand on the wall for some support with some of these exercises, then please do. If you are feeling a bit more energetic, a bit more capable today, feel free to push yourself, challenge yourself. Yeah, you don't have to stay working at an easy level unless you need to. So let's find that good standing posture. Let's see if we can just get a sense of it, if we can feel it, and how it makes our body feel different from how we might stand normally. Okay? Just the change is there. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just different. But this way we've kind of got optimal movement through the body. Now just soften the knees for a moment. Allow your body to slouch. Just take a big breath in and a breath out. Now as you inhale again, feel how your feet get heavier into the floor. Now this time, as you exhale, can you push away from the floor? Start to stretch up, lengthen, feel that you've got space to move. Standing tall. And again, just soften the knees. Just sink down just a little. And then straightening back up. I want you to feel the difference between those two postures. So as you lengthen up, try and feel that it's with ease and it's with an openness rather than a stiffness and a rigidness. That you are lengthening to give yourself more freedom of movement. Last time, but this time as we straighten up and we lengthen the body, we're going to set the head on the top of the shoulders and think about that chin being back. Okay, lifting out of the hips. I would like you to try and feel that your waist is long, so the distance between your hips and your ribs is big, it's stretched out. Now, let's take the arms into an arm float. Lead with the thumbs and bring them back down. As you're doing this, take your awareness into your feet. And just feel what happens. So as the arms move and they change your centre of gravity, maybe you can sense some subtle changes in where the pressure is in your feet. Now this time, we're going to look at one thumb. We're going to follow it out to the side, and we're going to follow it all the way down and to the centre. Let's come up. Follow the other thumb out to the side, open across that chest, follow it down, and centre, up, following out, down, and centre. Last one. And centre. Right, now we're going to turn the palm to the front. I'd like you to reach out, take a breath in. Exhale, pull up. Other side, turn, reach out. And then lift out the hips. So we keep thinking about that long waist. Stretching up. So that as we reach over, we're not crunching down into it. We're actually trying to reach away from our hips. And up. Now letting the arms swing. Letting the shoulders and the ribcage gently move just a little without encouraging it. Now if you have osteoporosis or you have disc issues where rotation isn't good for you, you're going to let your hips move now. Otherwise, can you keep them fixed? So we're just going to turn the body a bit more. If you have a vestibular disorder, this makes you dizzy, just stay looking to the front, but you can still turn your body away. Just keep your eyes forwards instead. One more each way. Now, we're going to come into some little squats. We're going to stay hip distance, so keep them small. Let's send the hips back. Long spine, press into your heels and push up. And it's that same feeling of lengthening up as you push up and away from the floor. One more. Okay, now can we come up onto the toes? Spread your toes out. Think of anchoring through the floor. So rather than trying to grip and contract the toes, think of spreading them out to give yourself a bigger platform. Now let's prepare that second toe and middle toe. That's where the energy's going. Let's press down into them as we lift the heels. And then lower back down with control. So notice for yourself if this feels like you are lifting up or if you feel like you're swaying forwards. So we want to try and get a sense of lifting away from the floor and travelling straight up rather than swaying forwards to lift the heels. There's the difference. Now we're going to add in the arm that we did before. If you'd rather keep both heels on the floor, that's fine. But if you can lift up, look at one thumb, follow it out. As you bring that arm and chin down, let's lower the heels. Up, let's turn, and lower. I didn't do that one very well. control, Sarah. Okay, tuck that chin in, down. Following that thumb out. Down and in. Okay, give the shoulders a roll, very well done. Right, we're going to take the arms forwards now, palms facing. We're going to open out and then we're going to take the hands behind the head. So can you find where the skull starts to stick out? Just underneath there. You can lace your fingers or you can just put them there. Now, have your shoulders already come up? Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. If they haven't, bring them up. Now let's see what happens if we lengthen the neck and drop those shoulders down. Now, nod your chin and press your head into your fingertips. Squeeze the elbows back, open wide, breath out. Release and bring the arms down. And again, let's reach out. Hands to the base of the skull. Nodding that chin, let's shrug up. Drop the shoulders down, pressing the head back. Exhale, open those elbows as wide as you can. Keeping pressing the head back, that's very important. So what we're trying to encourage here is strengthening the neck muscles and the back muscles that hold your head back and upright rather than the ones that hold it forwards. So let's shrug up and gently depress them, head back, elbows back. Oh, that's quite hard work for such a little move. Right, one last time, let's reach out, behind the head, allow the shoulders to lift, allow them to depress, lengthen that neck, tuck the chin back, press into those fingertips as you squeeze the elbows wide, and then reach and down. Wonderful, just give the shoulders a roll. Now, if you can, if it's available to you, we're going to step feet together. Arms down by the side. We're going to bring the arms up and then turn the palms to the ceiling. Now think of leading with your thumb rather than your wrist to do this. So my elbows aren't tucked in, they're free of the body. I'm standing tall. We're going into dumb waiter. Let's take a breath out, open out. And back in. Exhale. Now at the minute there's no movement of the shoulder blades. We're just working through what the actual shoulder cap itself can do. Now we're going to nod the chin down and we're going to look at one hand, follow it out. And in. And I'm trying not to tilt my head. Try and follow with your chin and nose so that you're getting that head rotating. One more. Okay, other side. We're staying back with that chin. We're following that hand out. Two more. Last one. Now let's bring the arms down. We're going to reach out, palms to the front, stretch. Now wrap round. So you're taking this hand to your hip, turn the other hand. Can you reach for your shoulder blade? Doesn't matter if you don't get anywhere near. Reach out. Switch. So we're thinking of the shoulders staying open at the front. You might find that your shoulder wants to roll in for you to do that. See if you can get to a height that's accessible for you at the minute with your shoulder open and back. That's what we're trying to achieve. Maximum mobility in that shoulder. One more. And release, roll the shoulders. We're going to take the palms forwards again to the ceiling, bring them in, Now we're going to add in a rise and lower if you'd like to, and I'd like you to think about zipping up all the way from your ankles, up through the middle of your legs, all the way up through your abdominals, right the way to your throat. So let's take a breath in. Exhale, lift the heels, open out. Control it back down. Lift and open. And down. Now, if you think you can and stay safe, can you follow one hand again? So lift, turn, and down. So now we are moving, we are rising up and turning the head at the same time. Challenging. Very. And down, one more. Okay, other side. I'm not doing very well on these today. My toes still sore. I'm trying. But you find if you squeeze those legs together a bit more, it really helps. Right, bring those arms down, roll the shoulders. That wasn't easy. So what we're going to do now is step back to hip distance, and we're going to do some nice flowing stretches before we come down onto the mat. Okay, so your hip distance, we're going to step one leg back. Now see if you can step it a good way back. Okay, we want to try and get a good stretch here. So if you can tuck your toes under and start to ease your heel into the floor, and beginning to stretch that calf. So let's start with the calf stretch. Let's lunge forwards. And bring it back. Now we're still thinking about a good lunge here. So watch, is that knee going over your toes? Is it going straight forwards or is it turning in? That's happening at the hip. So try and make sure your knee is going forwards. Right. This time we're going to flex the wrists, straighten the arms, push forwards, push up, stretch, hold, and bring it down. Now we're going to lift that back heel, we're going to stretch the inside of this hip. So if you can go wider, go wider. We're going to take the hands onto the side of the pelvis because we want it to stay upright rather than tilt forwards. So we're going to press forwards, stretching out that hip. If you need one hand on the wall or a chair, something sturdy, that's fine. Push and stretch. That's it, pushing forwards. Now make sure that back heel hasn't dropped inwards. You need it pointing away from you to get a stretch in your hip. Let's take that one last one. Now, we're going to put that heel down, straighten the front leg. Can you hinge forwards? Now, try not to round into it. Think about reaching forwards and down. Again, hand on the wall if you need to. Shoulders back. Lifting the chest. Now just soften. We're going to pick up that back heel again. You might want to shorten a little bit because we're going into lunges now. So hinge forwards. Make sure that heel is pointing away. You can feel all your toes on the floor. Let's lengthen the spine. Now control from the hip. Make sure this knee goes forwards. You could even keep your hands on your hips if you want to. Press into the heel. If everything's going forwards, you can add in an arm float for me. Now this is you reaching into some cupboard to get something out of the back of it, without having to get all the way down onto the floor and back up again. Or this might be helping you to get down onto the floor and then back up again. Now this next one we are going to hold if you can. Let's hold it here. Now check if you feel like you're gripping in the inside of your hip, or can you feel it's hamstrings? If it's hamstrings, you're going to pulse. If it isn't, press into your heel, see if you can get it to change. 4, 3, 2, 1, push up and step in. Right, we're going to do that on the other side now. So let's step that leg back. We're easing into that calf stretch. Heel down, lunging forwards. Just allow it to flow, feel that stretch. So our flexibility is just as important as our strength. We need to try and maintain our range of movement. Okay, last one. You're going to flex those wrists, push up. Big breath in. Push the heels of the hands away. And come up. Okay, let's lift that heel into your hip flexor stretch. So the pelvis stays upright. You can hold it to check it's going that way. And up. Remember, use a balance aid if you need to. Really notice where you're feeling it. The hips are staying square, they're both going forwards. Okay, now straightening that front leg, putting the back heel down. This is where we hinge over. Lengthening the spine out, stretch that front leg. Try not to lock your knee, so just notice what's happening in your kneecap here. And soften. Let's step up. Okay, shortening a little for our lunges. Right, toes are spread out, hips are pointing forwards. Press into the heel. And up. Making sure everything's travelling in the right direction. Okay, we're going to hold and pulse. So just check first of all you're not gripping that hip. Let's pulse it down. 7, 6, 5, 4. Push into the heel. 2, 1, and pushing up. And stepping in. Right. Let's just take a little stretch over. Across the chest if you need to. Breathe into it. Into that open side. And over. Other side. Stretch. And down. Okay, give the shoulders a little roll. Right, we're going to come safely down onto the mats now. Whatever way is good for you. If you need a cushion underneath your knees or your wrists, because we're coming into 4-point first, please do. If you can, could you do a squat? Don't normally do a squat to get down onto the mat, do we? We use them to get up. But let's see if we can do that. If you don't want to, do it your own way, that's fine. So we hinge forward, we come down into a squat. We go lower, we get the hands onto the floor. Bring the knees down. How did you do? Might take a bit of practice, but that's what we're here for. Right. Now, if you're not quite sure how to set yourself up, knees hip distance, let's take the elbows to the knees. If you're unable to come down onto your knees, you could be hands on the wall or hands onto the seat of your chair for this one, as long as it's sturdy. Spread the fingers out. Push over so that your shoulders are over your wrists. Feel supported from underneath, wide shoulders. Now, just check the inside of your elbows, that they're slightly soft and turned slightly inwards, rather than locked to the front. Okay, wide shoulders. Press into the heel of one hand, float and hover the other hand off the floor. Hold it. push and switch, hold. So we're going really slowly because I want you to feel what happens. Can you push that little finger into the floor and feel these muscles around here switch on? One more. Now place that hand down and think about widening your shoulders. Feel the breadth of your back, the breadth of your collarbones. Try and keep them wide. Focus on that breadth as you come down into a push-up. Now, did it go narrow? Did your back narrow and tuck inwards? Just come to where they stay wide. So we want to focus on a strong, wide back. Doesn't matter if you don't get anywhere near the mat. That's absolutely fine. That's not what we're working on. We're going to take one more. And then we're going straight into pinpoint arms and legs. So let's press into one knee, one hand. Glide the other ones out and lift. And in. Now we inhale here. Exhale as you reach away. Is that back leg straight? Feel the length of your neck. Feel that diagonal connection from your shoulder to your glute on the other side, all across the back. It's such a good exercise. Reach. Now we've taken this nice and slowly in order for you to feel what was happening in your body. We've built up stability with our cat pedals and our push-ups. What I'd like us to try and do now is challenge ourselves to go quickly without losing that stability and that form. So I want you to try and speed it up. Stretch, lift, and you're focusing on how steady you feel from shoulder to hip. Is there a lot of movement or is there minimal movement? Because you're feeling steady and in control. Keep it going for me. See if you can do a few more. Keep that breath flowing. So you're extending and extending. So we're going quickly, we're challenging ourselves. If you need to have a rest, have a rest. If you're still going, fantastic, keep going. Now we're going to slow it down and we're going to hold. Let's lift and hold. Is your neck long? Where's this shoulder? Has it come up to your face? Can you open it out and have a wide back again? Now we're going to pulse the arm and the leg up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now take them slightly out to the side, diagonal line, and in. Diagonal line, and in. One more. Let's bring it down and change sides. Slow, lift and hold. Feel that stability. Little posture checks, wide shoulders, soft elbow. Let's pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the diagonal and back. We're just deepening that connection across the back from the hip to the shoulder. Let's bring it down, bring it in, have a sit back, whichever's good for you. So shell stretch if you can, slump stretch if that's better. Let's take a breath out, curl up. And we're just going to give the hands a little roll on the hips. So very well done for that. Okay, give them a scrunch and stretch. And this is where we now need to grab that block or your cushion for some side lying work. Now I'm going to give some different modifications for a lot of these exercises. We're going to start off with the knees bent. Lying onto your side, ear onto the block. Now just make sure that your spine, just get a sense of it. Does it feel long and parallel to the floor, or is it dipped? Does it dip down before it goes back up towards the hips? Can you lift it and make it a straight line again? Okay, core is now active, isn't it? We've got a lovely straight spine. Is your shoulder underneath you, or is it out in front? Can you get that same feeling of broadness across the shoulders and across the collarbones? Okay, from that wonderful position you're going to unfold that bottom arm and take the top arm over it. Now, if you have osteoporosis, I would like you to, when we rotate, allow your knees and hips to move and slide apart, okay? If you have diastasis hernia or prolapse, I would like you to only just go past pointing at the ceiling. But normally we take it from here, fingertips together. What I'd like you to do today is roll slightly forwards, push that hand away, roll downwards before you lift. Follow those fingertips up, lift away from the floor. Now open out, big breath in. Exhale, push up. Close and reach forwards, turn the body. Lift. Feel that movement come from in the shoulder blade area. Open. Up. And close. Now turn the body, push forwards. Extend that shoulder as you lift. Can you feel how it pulls back in towards the spine? It kind of settles down and opens. Open the chest. And up. And close. Now stay here if you'd rather. To work on all that connective tissue in our backs again, if you can you take that top foot forwards and rest from your heel to your big toe. Okay, anchor that foot. Now if you've got osteoporosis, you're not going to do this one. So spine still tall. Has anyone collapsed in a bit here? Push that hip back, keep it open. And let's take the arm up. Open out, really reach away. Think of stretching from your fingertip to your heel. Lift up and bring it back again. Opening out, extend. One more. Now, we're going to bend those arms in. If you can you pick that leg up straight? If not, just bend it in and then take it back. But if you can, we're going to lift. We're going to bend it, take it behind us, put it on the floor. Now, hand is close to your body, take a breath out, use it to push up away from the floor and bring your elbow underneath your shoulder. Now, if you've had a hip replacement, you're not going to let this knee come down and touch the floor. You're going to keep it hovering. Let's lean forwards so that this hip comes forwards. Can you bring that knee down to the floor if it's safe? Now take a breath out. Can you try and turn onto the sole of your foot? Push that knee up. Down. Exhale, push up. Okay, bring that knee down. Now if you've had a hip replacement, this might not be a great exercise for you, but you might be able to modify it, because we're going to push up and sit up. You might be able to put your knee on a block, okay? Just to support it so that it doesn't roll inwards. But otherwise we're going to sit here. Now you might need that block underneath your other hip if this isn't comfortable. I've done a lot of hip opening today, so maybe it hopefully feels a little bit looser than it normally does. Okay. We're going to take the hands slightly forward of the knee, lengthen the spine, draw the shoulders back. I'm going to do some little push-ups here. So let's bend the elbows, push away from the floor. Now if you try and think about keeping that hip anchored, it might not be touching the floor, but we want it to stay where it is if we can. You should get a lovely sense of a stretch in the glutes and that front leg. Now, can you take away that front hand? Turn. Can you go to the side a bit more? You might want to reach out a bit further. Elbow back. One more. Now, we're going to turn. We're going to take both hands down onto the floor, but now we're twisted slightly to the side. We're going to slide your knees together. Okay, we're going to swing the knees underneath. Take a breath in. Exhale, push through your hands, swing. Bring them down. Okay, let's spread those hands out. Back to your 4-point position, but this is knees and feet together if that's available to you. Let's hover those knees and swing them to the side. And centre, other side, and centre. So we're turning at the pelvis. Now we've got one more after this one. And we're sat down again. Okay, I'm going to have to turn around because we're now going to do our side lying on the other side, but you should be on the other side now. So if you sit down onto that hip and then bring yourself down, ready for side lying open door. So we're getting that sense of lengthened spine, of broad collarbones and shoulders, head positioned back. Let's take the hands together. Okay. Remember, whatever you did on the other side, you're doing it on this side. So if the hips were moving or your range of movement was reduced, you stay with that on this side too. Now let's reach that arm forwards, turn the body. Now as you lift, follow the fingertips up and feel that shoulder come back down in towards the spine before you rotate. And lift up and down, reach forwards. Lift and glide, open. Rotate, lift and open. Now remember, stay here if this feels better for you. If you can you extend that top leg? Flex the foot. You want to be resting from your big toe to the heel, all on that inside blade. Push the leg straight and anchor it. So remember, you're not going to do this if you've got osteoporosis. So you're reaching out, thinking of stretching from your heel to your fingertips and back round. Lift and stretch. And round. We've got one more. Now let's fold those arms in. Remember, if you can, lift that leg up. Can you take a breath out? Hover. Take it back. Let's bend it, place it down on the floor. Bring your top hand in close. Let's take a breath in. Exhale, push up. And then bring the elbow underneath your shoulder. Let's lean slightly forwards. Remember, hip replacement, if it's on this side, you're not going to let that knee come down to the mat. Otherwise, if you can, let's bring it down, take a breath in. Exhale, lift and rotate. You're trying to get your foot flat on the floor. That's the aim eventually. Now keep pushing away from the floor with this side. So we keep that shoulder strong, wide open. We've got 2 more here. Okay, wonderful. So from there, we're going to sort of push up. Remember, if you need to support knee or hip, please do. And then we're just taking the hands forwards slightly. Try not to lift this hip forwards with you. Think of keeping it back. Shoulders wide, collarbones wide. Push up. And we're stretching forwards as we do this. So maybe you're feeling a really nice stretch going all the way from your shoulder down into your glutes and your hip. Now let's push up. Take the hand behind the head. You might need to go a bit further out into that single arm. Last 2. Okay, wonderful. Now let's take the hands down. Bring the knees together if you can. Are we ready to lift? You're going to push away from the floor with those arms. Inhale. Exhale. Lift and swing the knees under. Now we're going to come back up into standing using a squat if you can. So let's bring those knees and feet a little bit wider. Do it your own safe way if you don't want to do this. Hands to the side of the knees, tuck the toes, tuck the heels down, squat, and you're up. Okay. So coming back to that good standing posture. Lengthening up, standing tall. Now, let's turn the palms away, spread the fingers out. We're going to nod the chin down. I'd like you to turn and look to your little finger, and then you're going to spiral and follow your thumb up, and then follow it back down and across the other side. Stretch and bring it down, tuck it in. Now, we're just going to shift from one foot to the other. We're not coming off the floor. I want you to get a sense of what the hips are doing and the knees. Are you swaying with your hips? Or are you transferring from side to side? Now, can you start to make that a little bit bigger? Lift and hover the foot. Now you can stay wherever you want with this balance. If you want to stay with this, that's absolutely fine. If you can you come into a little squat? Push up and balance. Squat. Push up and balance. So wants to be a good quality movement. And up. Into your squat. And balance. Now we're going to do one more each side. We're just going to hold it for a little bit longer. Those of you who want to take the balance a bit further, you can. If you want to challenge, take it to where you feel confident. Can you hold it there? Can you circle that leg for me? Round the other way. Now bring it down, straight into your squat. Push up, other side. Lift and hold into your triangle, holding there. Who's gripping the floor with their toes? And 4, 3, little circles, 2, 1, other way, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it down, give me a squat, and then just push up. And now we're going to take the arms into Cossack, and we are going to circle those hips. Just let them go nice and loose, all the way around, and then round the other way, loose. Now bring the arms down. We're just going to take a little squat, like a little bouncy squat, and push up and circle. And up. One more. Swing the arms and stretch up and down. Wonderful. So I hope you've enjoyed that class. Remember, a lot of those things you can start incorporating into what you do and how you move in your everyday life. And it's not that we want you to move stiffly and rigidly. We want you to feel confident and safe. Increase your strength, increase your functionality, increase your range of movement when you're doing your everyday tasks. So enjoy the rest of your day. Let's hope, I don't know if it's gone cloudy near you. Yeah, I'm hoping the sun will come back out again. Anyway, take care, and I will see you again very soon.